going?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We actually got some sunshine here in the Bay Area.
Nice.
Some warm weather. It was pushing into this almost 70. And supposed to get up, who knows, maybe 80 tomorrow. So we get really, really wacky weather here. We should have had this like in June. We were having 50s in June. Now we got almost 80 in middle of October.
We're finally south of 100.
Oh, okay. you had some really warm temperatures there too, huh?
It's nice. I think I drove my daughter to school the other day without the air conditioner on for the first time in, I don't know, 4 months or something.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys have been roasting then.
Yeah, actually, even in the 80s, it's really nice here. Even in the low 90s, it's really nice.
Today, before we go into what we're going to do today, any comments, problems, concerns for all the techniques that we got the first month?
From one day to the next, like I think I said this every time we talk, it's you never know what to expect. And actually, one day this past week was just horrific, and other days were just really, really good. So, like I got, for example, on the buzzing without the mouthpiece, I'm up to, I can do the high F on it, the scale, F to high F or double F.
Okay.
And I can squeak higher than that when I'm there. So that's the good. The siren part, came in last week. I had never done any of lip flexibility drills, and it went from just abysmal or horrific to I can see some improvement. So
hey, all right, that's good to hear.
As long as I'm directionally correct, I'm happy. Just when I have, like last night, yesterday I played and I had a really good session, and then I was playing last night, and I don't know, it was just my lips. I just get so fatigued, but I just couldn't play anything. I had like zero endurance, and I guess that's a little frustrating. I don't have much staying power, much stamina. Even if I take several hour breaks during the day, maybe I'm just expecting too much too soon. So I don't know.
Well, endurance is one of the last things to come, in my opinion, and that's kind of really evident in almost everybody's playing, from say like a beginner all the way to the most celebrated professional trumpet player that you could think of, even famous ones. A quick example is you could have a guy that's just rock solid, and this has happened to everybody, including Maynard Ferguson. I've heard him talk about this. You got iron chops, and then for whatever reason, you could watch your endurance just dissipate really quickly. And it depends kind of on your body, what's going on in your life, stresses, and all kinds of environmental things, and then internal things. So the endurance is the one, that's the kind of like the holy grail, to get that one always perfect. And I don't think anybody ever gets that one 100% to their liking, because it's hard to make that consistent due to us being human. And so you'll probably notice by the time, in a couple more months when you're done with this course, you'll have the range, but the endurance is always a lifelong endeavor. However, it should be very notably better and different, by the time you're done with this course. And,
as far as the drills go, and most things, obviously we've only been doing it a month, and really I've only picked up my horn, I guess, for maybe 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a huge improvement, and that's I'm excited about that. So.
Well, I got a nice segue into endurance, because the very first technique of the second month, almost always, that I throw out is the Cat Anderson technique.
Okay.
And Cat Anderson technique is really all about endurance. It really is. And so I don't know if have you had a chance to ever look at this program, because you can find some free versions of it online.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this program. I'm very familiar with him, but I'm not familiar with this program.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just one thing about endurance. On the lead pipe drill, I think when he first introduced it to me, I was lucky if I could do it, 18 seconds or whatever it is. And now I can I'm almost up to 30 seconds on each
Ooh,
one.
sweet.
So definitely a huge, amount of progress there. So I just wanted to mention that.
Wow, that's like 100% gain right there almost.
Yeah, it's so I'm excited about that. So,
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, a lot of times that the Bill Adams lead pipe buzzing is either misleading or it's kind of under the radar for a lot of people because they can really consider it a big deal. But once you start, adding seconds and ramping it up, you can actually feel the difference. At least I can. And then when you look back to where you were, even if you've just gained 10 seconds or 15, you should notice a little difference in your sound. I notice it in my sound. My sound is a little bit more focused. It seems to be a little bit bigger. And I really like the overall effects of it. So I think as you continue to increase that, maybe 35 seconds or at some point, maybe by the time you end this course, if you're 40 or 45, I think you'll appreciate the differences in it.
I like those kind of drills. I don't find them boring at all. I like those, so I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I think I told you for me that one there is almost kind of meditative for me. I don't know why. I mean, I could hold out pedal tones or other long tones, but something about I'm playing right through the lead pipe and not through the rest of the horn. It's just, or maybe the sound it makes or whatever, it seems to come off kind of meditative. And while I'm doing it, I know I should be thinking exactly what's going on with the horn, but my mind will kind of drift a little bit and get it in kind of a very light kind of hypnotic state. Especially if I decide to do all 12. That's how in his course, he starts everybody off with all 12. What we're doing for this technique is 3 to 5. But if I have extra time, I might stretch it out to 10 or 12. And I notice by that time, you're kind of de-stressed a little bit and you're really warmed up. So
yeah, I'll also mention that on that dry lip drill, that's about the weirdest sensation I think I've ever had. It's totally weird playing dry like that.
Yeah. So you got something to really wipe your lips down and make them dry, a towel or a paper towel or something like that.
Yeah, and it's the notes are very thin for me, but I can start in high C and end up somewhere way north of double C.
Wow, that's great.
It's total, but the notes are they're paper thin. There's no real heft behind them. So.
Well, there's no, this one here is just, that technique is just to take you out of your element and your comfort zone, and it works a couple of those kind of ancillary, secondary muscles in your embouchure that don't really get worked when you're using the real thicker, stronger, aggressive muscles in your, your normal setup. So you don't really have to pursue it much beyond that, but, if you wanted to, you can, but...
it's kind of fun.
Yeah. So...
Okay, so we're going to do Cat Anderson?
Yeah, so this one here... I'm going to go all on a limb and just pretty much say that as far as endurance, this one knocks it out of the park.
All right.
This one, of all the ones that we have, well, the lip slurs, we've done that, the Charles Cullen book. That one does also contribute to endurance. And then anytime that you can always focus and make sure that you're resting as much as you play, that plays a big part in endurance too. And you almost think that it wouldn't, but it's already kind of proven if you don't take a lot of rest and you rush through your practice, it tends to kill off your endurance. So the resting as much as you play, or even adding a little extra rest, breaking things up, and then the Cat Anderson technique as the mother of all endurance techniques.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
About the rest as long as you play. Typically what I do is, like if I play a drill, whatever it is, and say it takes me, like the Bill Adams, I play a drill, say it takes me 30 seconds, and then I rest for at least 30 seconds, and I play it again, and obviously my goal is 150 seconds. Do you then rest like the entire time that it took you to do that drill after that? In other words, it took you 150 seconds twice, whatever that is. 200, whatever, 10 seconds or whatever it is. Do you rest that full amount again, or just the amount of the last part of that drill? Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So you're resting, like for example, you do the Bill Adams lead pipe, and we do 3 to 5 of those. Typically, that's kind of what works out. So let's just say that after you got done with, let's say, 5 of those, and you've done a total of 150 seconds plus your rest, you're asking me whether you should go ahead and rest a total of all that 150 seconds before you go on.
Correct.
And I would say for that particular technique, no, because I don't know if I mentioned it, I kind of included in my warm-up technique, and it's not a real major ball buster kind of technique. Now, but on the flip side, like the Claude Gordon, let's say that you put in, let's say if you're kind of rushing through it, but you can get through it in 15 minutes, work your way up to the high notes, and 15 or 20 minutes and you're kind of done. That's a whole different story. So even though you've been resting between each one, let's say you go up and then you rest 5 or 10 seconds, so you're kind of resting almost as much as you play. My answer is different on that one, because that's a real heavy duty, intense one that you're just, especially when you're grinding out at the end, those last couple of notes that are only coming out air, that's pretty intense. So there we go into a situation where we do want to rest almost all of what it took us. So, for example, if it took you 20 minutes to go through the Claude Gordon and you even did the rest as much as you played during the technique, you'd probably want to put in 20 minutes of rest at least before you move on to something else.
More on, that's what I thought. On the real heavy duty ones, I've been taking, sometimes I'll actually take hours. I'll do it one part of the day and then I'll come back to
make this clear. The Cat Anderson, in my opinion, based on little things I've done over the years, really is the most effective when it becomes a 7-day technique.
An everyday?
Everyday technique. So that's the Cat Anderson technique. And I think that's the last of the real big, long, intensive ones that take time to kind of talk through and go over. And also it's one that's has a very, very profound effect on your overall playing. You'll find it to be true. If you calibrate this right over the next couple of weeks, you'll start to see some miracles happen in your playing. For me, I
mentioned before that quite often I get these rattles or this real fuzzy notes, and then kind of my top lip kind of falls to the mouthpiece. It's just, I think it sounds like a real fatigue kind of thing. So I'm hoping this will kind of alleviate some of those maladies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of that already dissipated.
What's that?
That the condition that you're describing of kind of like caving in.
It happened to me yesterday when I was playing late. I was just trying to play a real simple etude, and my top lip just kept falling into the mouthpiece, and just I had nothing, and it was like just kind of got pretty frustrating. So,
well, that happened to me too. That means that's what I call playing on your teeth. Yeah. Have you ever have that sensation? If you've been playing for a long time, all of a sudden, man, I don't have any more cushion on my lips. I feel like I'm playing right on my teeth.
Yeah.
That's it, and that happens to everybody. So that's fatigue, and that's kind of a wake up call to go take a break, or maybe put the horn in the case, for that particular day. At least for me, it is.
It happened last night after I had taken, a several-hour break. So I think that was what was a little more disturbing about it. I thought I was pretty rested, but apparently, because I had done the Claude Gordon, earlier in the day, and I really was able to kind of knock that out, really well, and maybe that just took its toll.
I think that's probably what it is. Just so if you're doing some pretty heavy duty stuff, so it could be that your lips are still wanting a little bit more, in the Amish are wanting a little bit more recuperation.
Okay.
So anyway, I've experienced that many times, and it's a horrible feeling when you're actually, for example, on a paying job, and you're exposed, and you're playing a lead part or whatever it is, and you're really exposed, and all of a sudden you can feel it. You can feel the mouthpiece almost right on the teeth, and like, oh man, I still got another 3 or 4 more songs to go. You kind of feel that dread coming on. So I've been there and done that. That's fatigue. So let's see what we're gonna move on to next.